Hello and welcome to The Pitch, a series aimed at cutting out the noise and getting straight to the actionable insights. My name's James Marley and today I'm joined by an experienced company director who spent the past 2 years working as non-executive chair of NASDAQ-listed Iris Energy, which is backed by some of Australia's most influential investors. David, thanks very much for joining us. There's lots of experts out there. In this particular area, can you tell me a bit about your background and what's your edge?
Sure, James. I've been in the infrastructure and energy utilities business for more than 30 years in a variety of roles, from funds management down to operations. I was chief executive of the Australian listed DUET Group, the energy and utilities investor in both Australia and the US. And I'm now on the board of a toll road business, the Australian listed Atlas Arteria. Got assets in Virginia, in Chicago and in France. I'm also been appointed by Keolis, the French public transport company, to their Australian joint venture board, Keolis Downer, that operate public transport all around the country.
Extensive track record operating or overseeing utility assets. What is the appeal for you of utility assets?
Look, I've always got a kick out of keeping the lights on. Businesses that underpin the growth of an economy, businesses that provide essential services to customers have always been of interest to me. And over the last 30 years, there's been a revolution in that sector in Australia with increasing private sector provision of public infrastructure. And I believe very strongly, passionately, that private sector involvement in these sectors has been good for the economy and has delivered real value for consumers. And that's what has kept me going.
Iris Energy, as I mentioned earlier, it's NASDAQ listed. It's a different take on utility and infrastructure type assets. What's the appeal for you?
Yeah, superficially it's different, but Iris Energy at its core is an infrastructure business. We develop, build, operate and maintain data centres. We build the data centre infrastructure, the electrical infrastructure, the grid connections, and we use that infrastructure that we develop at the moment for the purpose of mining Bitcoin. It just happens that mining Bitcoin is the highest value use of that infrastructure at the moment. In the future, and I think very soon in the future, you're going to see that same infrastructure being pointed at other applications like high performance computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, that our data centres are well suited to. So it is at its core an infrastructure business.
And how did you get involved?
In 2020, I got a call from one of the founders, Dan Roberts. We had a mutual connection at Macquarie Bank, and I went in for an hour's discussion with him. I walked out 4.5 or 5 hours later, having had a really interesting, wide-ranging discussion. And I was surprised at the extent of overlap. Same approach to risk management, same approach, same objective to develop institutional grade infrastructure investment opportunities. And there was a cultural fit. I spent the Australian summer researching Bitcoin, asking questions, figuring out what it was all about, satisfying myself that Bitcoin is here to stay. And in the lead up to the IPO in 2021, I was appointed chair.
Well, David, let's draw on some of that experience and specifically how it can influence the prospects for Iris Energy.
That experience is directly relevant to Iris's core task, which is to build, develop, operate infrastructure assets. Our day-to-day work is in operations, safety management, ESG management, capital allocation and investment decision making. And importantly, it's about governance. It's about understanding how to respond to the demands of the market, of regulators, of shareholders, the same as any other business.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that introduction to David. Coming up in the pitch, we're going to be learning about the economics of data centres, and we'll also hear about the outlook for Iris Energy.